This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Rajesh Lake, AIR correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said India's upcoming G20 presidency is a big opportunity to focus on global good and welfare of the world. Addressing the nation in the 95th episode of Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio, Mr. Modi said this becomes even more special as India was awarded this responsibility during Amrit Kaal. Mr. Tandon, will you please elaborate on how you view his statement about one earth, one family, one future?
Today's was the 95th episode of Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. And Prime Minister perhaps for the first time mentioned that this program is another medium for him to connect with 130 crore countrymen. And he also shared that before every episode, he goes through letters from villages and cities. He listens to audio clips from children and elders. And he made a very remarkable comment. He said it's like a spiritual experience for him. And before I come to the point you have raised, see, major takeaway of today's Mann Ki Baat was the Prime Minister's compliment to the countrymen for their efforts in different fields, because he touched upon various fields in which people have been working for the betterment of the society and for the good of the country. And he said, I salute the creative and social endeavors of my countrymen. And he said the country's energy and enthusiasm is so profound because he sees that today every countryman is trying to do something different for the country in one field or the other. And he gave ample examples today. Then he came to the international event like G20. And he paid glowing tributes to an individual from Telangana, one of our viewer companions. He understood this responsibility of what G20 stands for as far as India is concerned. And that gentleman has come forward to fulfill it through his effort of weaving by hand a logo for the G20. And that was something remarkable. And then he said that many people are making efforts for the environment. Some others are working for water. Many people are doing extraordinary work from education, medicine, science, technology to cultural tradition. And he said this is because today every citizen of ours is realizing his or her duties. And then he said when such a sense of duty arises within the citizens of a nation, its golden future is automatically ensured. And in the golden future of the country itself also lies for all of us a golden future. I think that sums up the spirit of today's Mann Ki Baat. And you very rightly said that India is today capable of providing solutions to the very challenges being faced globally by the humanity. And he said that whether it is peace or unity, sensitivity towards the environment or sustainable development, India has solutions to challenges related to all these issues. And that was the background and the context in which the Prime Minister brought in the G20.
And he's also urged, Shokji, the schools, colleges and universities to create opportunities for discussions, debates and competitions related to G20. Moving on, Shokji, what do you feel about the Vikram S? In fact, Mr. Modi stated that the whole country had witnessed history being made in the space sector on the 18th of November when India sent the first rocket Vikram S designed and prepared by its private sector into space.
Certainly, but before that, I would just like to add one comment that the theme of the G20 presidency of India is going to be Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is the mantra which the Prime Minister elaborated. And he said that means that there should be welfare of all, peace to all, fulfillment to all, and well-being for all. And that is the Indian ethos, Indian cultural and heritage ethos, which India has always been propounding. And now it will be an opportunity during the G20 presidency that this message will now be, spread across the globe to all length and breadth of the world. And very rightly you said that the Vikram, as the name of the rocket is, And this is the first rocket of the indigenous space startup. It has made a historic flight from Sriharikota, as we know, and this is equipped with many features. It's also lighter than other rockets. It is also cheaper. Its development cost is much less than the cost incurred by other countries involved in space missions. And in space technology, world-class standard at a low cost has now become the hallmark of India. And he said another modern technology has been used in making this rocket. And some crucial parts of this rocket have been made through 3D printing. And surely the name Prarambh given to the launch mission of Vikram as suits it perfectly. And it's another example of the relation between India and Bhutan, because one of the project partner is India, because India has launched a satellite which has been jointly developed by India and Bhutan. This will send pictures of every good resolution, which will help Bhutan in the management of its natural resources. The launching of this satellite is a reflection of the strong Indo-Bhutan relations.
Prime Minister also lauded the youth for doing wonderful work in space, technology and innovation. In fact, Ashokji, speaking about the innovations related to technology, Mr. Modi gave a very beautiful, moving example of how the drones are being used. He highlighted that a few days back, apples were transported through drones in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. That's technology in action.
Yes, he said, how can we, when we talk of technology and innovation, we can't forget drones. Now, India is moving fast in this field, and you very rightly mentioned that how apples were being transported through drones in Kinnaur, Himachal Pradesh. We all know Kinnaur is a very remote district of Himachal, and they produce one of the best apples in the world, and the area faces heavy snowfall in this season. And so much of snowfall, Kinnaur's connected with the rest of the state becomes very difficult for weeks together. And in such a situation, the transportation of apples from there is very difficult, and which is now being done with the help of drone technology. Delicious Kinnaur apples of Himachal are now reaching to the people in far-flung areas and more quickly. And this will, of course, is reducing the expenditure of our farmers, and apples will now reach markets on time, and there will be no wastage of apples as well. I think it's a tribute to the apple growing farmers of Himachal Pradesh.
Muscular dystrophy, which remains a big challenge for medical science. In fact, Mr. Modi spoke about Manav Mandir in Himachal Pradesh, which has become a new ray of hope for the patients of this genetic disease.
Yes, he gave a detailed account of what this Manav Mandir is doing. The videos were also shared with the people today, how this center is working, because people could eyewitness account of what is happening. And you very rightly said, it is mainly a genetic disease that can occur at any age, in which the muscles of the body begin to weaken, and it becomes difficult for the patient to do even his or her small task of daily life. And the treatment over there and the care of such patients, of course, requires sense of service. And this center at Solan in Himachal, which has become a new ray of hope for the patients of muscular disease. And this name also is so beautiful, Manav Mandir. It's being run by the Indian Association of Muscular Dystrophy. And Manav Mandir, he said, is a perfect, wonderful example of human service due to its name. And surprisingly, the OPD and admission services for the patient, they started here 3 to 4 years ago. And all these facilities, they have 50 beds. These, including physiotherapy, etc., these are all being, managed by people who are also, in a way, gone through these problems. So I think it was a tribute to the people who are running it. And of course, this message will go through the length and breadth of the country, and maybe even other countries. And people can certainly, make use of the services being provided there.
From technology to music, this is what the Prime Minister said. In fact, he expressed happiness that the export of musical instruments from India has increased 3.5 times in the last 8 years. And he termed it fortunate that India has such a rich heritage of music, dance and art. He said this, Ashokji, while he spoke about the Greek singer Konstantinos Kalaitzis, who had sung Bapu's favorite bhajan during the 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes, PM gave a very detailed account of India's heritage and as far as the music is concerned. And he, of course, did mention, he said, but, the music part, particularly PM said, increase in our export of the instrument, and surprisingly, the craze for Indian culture and music is increasing all over the world. And the biggest buyers, though, of Indian musical instruments are developed countries like USA, Germany, France, Japan and UK. And it is of course a matter of fortune and pride for all of us that we have such a rich heritage of music, dance and art. He gave the example of great sagas and people who have been pioneers in the art, music and literature. This is now being, recognized all over the world. And he in fact quoted from the Samaveda, which he said is the source of our diverse music, be it Veena of Ma Saraswati, the flute of Bhagwan Krishna, or the Damru of the Bholenath. Our gods and goddesses are also attached with music. He said we Indians find music in everything, be it the murmurs of a river, the raindrops of chirping of birds, or resonating sound of the wind. Music is present everywhere in our civilization.
To add to what you said, Ashokji, the Prime Minister remembered the great sage poet Bhartiya Hari, who wrote Niti Shatak. In one of the verses, the poet says that one's attachment to art, music and literature is the real identity of humanity. Mr. Modi said that Indian culture takes it above humanity to divinity. So well said. Mr. Modi also talked about how traditions and knowledge is being preserved, and he cited the example of Nagaland. Would you like to elaborate on that?
No, before that, I would also like to add that when he was mentioning about the bhajan kirtan being performed in some of the temples, and this was reaching us from Guyana, a South American country, thousands of miles away from India. He said in the 19th and the 20th century, a large number of people from India went to Guyana. They also took many traditions of India with them. And for example, as we celebrate Holi in India, in Guyana also the colors of Holi come alive with zest. Where there are colors of Holi, there is also the music of Phagwat. In Phagwa of Guyana, there is a special tradition of singing wedding songs associated with Bhagwan Rama and Bhagwan Krishna. Now, these songs are called Chautal. They are sung on a similar type of tune and at a high pitch as we do here. So not only this, the competitions are organized held in Guyana, and many Indians, especially people from eastern UP and Bihar, they have gone to Fiji too. They used to sing traditional bhajana, kirtan and mainly couplets from the Ramcharitmanas. They also found many mandalis associated with the bhajana and kirtan in Fiji. So like that, Indian musical tradition and other traditions are being kept alive even in the country where we have diaspora. I thought before I come to Nagaland, I must mention these things also. But the Nagaland thing also, and he said that one commendable effort which is being made to maintain and preserve our traditions and traditional knowledge, he gave the example of Nagaland.
So he also talked about the importance of education, and the Prime Minister mentioned Jatin Lalit Singh from Bansa village in UP's Hardoi, who had started a community library and resource center in the village 2 years ago. So this was the rich cultural heritage of India that is being taken forward, and the Prime Minister lauded the efforts by the Indian. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashok Tandon, for being with us.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Rajesh Lake, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.